Oh yeah, I was about to do the thing and everything. I was looking forward to that. That intro hot.
You like it?
Yeah, I like that intro.
What is up, you guys? What is up? Make sure my volume is up. Make sure you guys can hear us loud and good. Welcome, welcome, welcome back here, you guys. Just Simply Sports with me. I am Kaja. And if you have not been here with us the past, maybe 2, 3 weeks now, you should already know who it is. But if you don't, introduce yourself.
Y'all already know what time it is. Same suit, Jerry Reed. It's your boy Naughty, aka One Man Cave. And I'm here with Katja. Just Simply Sports, chopping up this football.
Whew, you guys, it's been a very, very interesting season thus far, honestly. What's that? You got food?
Yeah,
Cookies?
I got a vegan pizza.
Of
Yeah.
vegan pizza. Ew.
Oh, it's
Okay.
delicious.
I'm
I'm
gonna
telling you.
I had a Sicilian slice earlier for lunch. It was very, very tasty, but I'm gonna let you rock out, with your
Oh yeah, for
vegan
sure.
pizza, okay? But you guys, look, we are what? We through week 5 in the NFL,
Week
going on to
five.
week 6. Wow, the time
Yes.
is flying, y'all. Like it's not even a game. So if you did not watch this game, we just saw the Chiefs lose to Trevor Lawrence. Jacksonville, you guys, they are 4-1. They have the same record as my Bills now, which doesn't even make sense to me. But the record is the record. So with that being said, what did you think about this game? What most impressed you?
I was mostly impressed by Trevor Lawrence. This was the Trevor Lawrence that I expected to see coming out of Clemson.
Okay.
Trevor Lawrence that Jacksonville decided to pay a couple years ago. And finally, we saw it all mature into
Mhm.
what we saw tonight. He ran the ball well. I mean, he showed a lot of heart. He showed a lot of game.
Mhm.
Pass on the sideline down the stretch to Brian Thomas. It was magnificent. It reminded me of the throw that Eli Manning made to Mario Manningham in the Super
Mhm.
Bowl against New England. So
Mhm.
yeah, I was very impressed with Trevor Lawrence tonight. He balled.
For me, like we get so caught up in what happens in one game, and then the next week it all just goes to hell, and we're like, "Oh, I knew it!
Yeah.
I knew that he wasn't that good. I knew that he wasn't this. Knew he wasn't that." So I'm gonna just focus on this week for right now. Honestly, I'm unsure on Trevor Lawrence. You know what I mean? Because he's been in the NFL for a few years now, and he's so inconsistent. But tonight I'm gonna give him his props. I always say, "Are you your best when your best is needed?" And tonight he was. I mean, he fell down late in the game, fell, kind of
Right.
rolled over, got back up, and then still got the touchdown. I was like, you better go ahead, Trevor. I'm here for the fight. So
Right.
I was impressed that he didn't give up. I was really, really impressed with that interception. Ran all the way 99 yards
9-9.
for a touchdown. And I was like, you know what? Maybe Jacksonville is a little bit better than that we all expected them to be. But I have to give him his props. I was impressed. Now hopefully they continue this, this on, as the rest of the season continues. But overall, gotta give him his props. He showed me something. He showed me something.
Jacksonville had some ballers tonight.
Hmm.
The lights were bright. Monday night football, and Trevor balled. Travis Hunter made some big plays. He balled, and of course Lloyd with the 99-yard interception off arguably the best quarterback in the game. I mean, those guys stepped up when it counted, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, Jacksonville is 4-1. Okay, now the expectations have risen. Let's see how you perform when the expectations of you has gone up.
But should we be raising our expectations just that fast? I mean, because if you
Yes,
look at his overall, like forget college, like just NFL,
right.
he's been up and down. So I
He
know he
has
had a
been.
really good game again against Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs, who haven't really been the Chiefs that we know them to be, but a win is still a win, and they earned that win. So I'm like, should we at this point now? I know it was a good game and all. Should we really be raising our expectations so fast?
I think so. I think he was the number one pick in the draft. They paid him money because
They did.
before he had those 2 seasons where he kind of fell off, the last
Hmm.
2 seasons, he was looking like he was on the upward spiral.
Hmm.
His trajectory looked good, and then the last 2 years he kind of almost fell off a cliff. And now
Hmm.
you give us this performance
Uh-huh.
against the Kansas City Chiefs, which has had a stout defense, even this season. I mean, to put up 31 points on Monday night, and also
Mhm.
I want to factor in that you did have the number 2 pick in the draft this year, and you took Travis Hunter, a guy
You
who
did.
a Heisman Trophy winner, dynamic. He can play defense. He can play offense. You still got Brian Thomas Jr., who balled last year and showed that he's a true, maybe a top 10 wide receiver in this game. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I think at 4-1 after beating the Chiefs on Monday night in the fashion that you did, it's okay that the expectations for you go up.
So how far do you see Jacksonville going this season? If you had to place a bet right now, like what do you think what do you think they're gonna like how they're gonna finish their season?
Well, I would say the expectations is definitely a playoff berth. I
Mhm.
know that the division that they're in seems to have gotten tougher than it was in the previous years because I know Houston is down, but Houston has won the division the last couple of years, and they still are Houston until they fall all the way off the map. They Houston and the Colts. I mean, Indiana Jones, he's got the Colts playing. I think they're 4-1.
Yeah,
So
I think they are. You're right. Yeah.
outside of Tennessee, everybody in that division has an opportunity to win. It's going to be tough,
Mhm.
but I would expect Jacksonville. I mean, they went on the road and beat the 49ers. Then you
Mhm.
beat the Chiefs this week. The only game they lost was a game they gave away to the Cincinnati Bengals. They should have won that game. They could easily be 5-0 right now.
Mhm.
So I expect Jacksonville to make a playoff run this year.
The jury's still out for me. Like I said, I'm gonna give props for this game, but I'm gonna pump the brakes. I'm just gonna
I
pump it
feel you
real
on
quick.
that.
Uh-huh.
I feel you on that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get too carried away. Now, give me one or two more games with, this kind of win. Then I'm like, okay, then maybe you have me on the Jacksonville Jaguars side. But right now, I'm like, I like what you did. I want to see more. That's where I
Right.
am. But with that being said, now Travis Hunter, obviously, like you said, Heisman winner, but watching him, I feel like he's trying to find his footing on this team. Like I don't know if it's the way they're using him or if it's NFL, it's not college anymore. But I want to play this soundbite for you and tell me what you if you agree or what you think. Because they were talking about Travis Hunter and I'll let you hear it. Uh, uh, uh.
I got 28 guys in the league, man. My eyes work. I know who's good and who's not. Like, the guy's not that good. He's not as good as everybody thought he was. I'm just being honest. He's got great ball skills, good kid, all that. Look at him. Jamar Chase made him look like a little boy. He doesn't belong out there. You either need to put him on wideout and get him off the defense, or you put him on defense and get him on offense. Get him off offense. He's not that good. He's not generational. He's not Deion Sanders. He's not Champ Bailey. He's not Charles Woodson. Stop. I don't know why they always thought that. He played against these three transfer wideouts. He didn't have to go against the NFL All-Pro every week. Come on, man. Play Colorado State. Stop. We got to stop.
All right. So, very, very harsh, but honest opinion. That was Jason Whitlock. And I don't know if you guys watch Coach JB on YouTube, but he always has the most outlandish, outrageous, brutal takes. And I heard that, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to talk to you about it on here. So, what did you think? Do you agree with what he's saying, or you're like absolutely false?
Who did you say that was?
Coach JB, you watch him
Oh,
on YouTube? Him and Smitty?
nah.
Okay.
I'm glad I don't watch that guy after hearing those comments. Um,
So, what are your thoughts on Travis Hunter?
Travis Hunter is a great football player.
Mhm,
What he fails to understand is Travis Hunter is trying. He's playing both ways.
mhm,
The NFL is a lot different from college. The playbook and the things he has to learn are way more detailed and way more intricate.
mhm,
What they're trying to do, they're putting him in on packages on defense, and right now they haven't really playing the slot receiver on offense. They got him playing the F role. He has to learn. He has to perfect those roles before they can expand his playbook, so to say, before they
Mhm.
can allow him to learn how to be an X receiver or be the
Mhm.
Y. He first he got to learn the F position. Then on defense, he's playing well. But again, he had to learn the defensive play side,
Mhm.
play side of the book. You only got 2 hours of practice.
Mhm.
He's not in a position where if he was just strictly wide, he'll be dominant as a wide. If he was strictly a
Mhm.
defender, he'll be dominant as a cornerback. It's gonna take Travis Hunter 2 or 3 years to master all the positions of both sides of the ball. So I like the way Jacksonville is using him and working him in. And tonight, Travis Hunter made an impact on the win that Jacksonville had. So
Mhm.
I don't know what this guy means. He's not generational. He's not a good football player. That's not what I'm seeing out there.
I mean, well, I think the saying goes, what, jack of all trades, master of none, right?
Right.
So I mean, you like you just mentioned, like there's 2 hours in practice, and then it's just gonna take them a few years really to hone in and learn both. Obviously, like this is the NFL, it's not going to be the same as college. Like I mean, that's just obvious. But is there a really, honestly speaking, is there a world where he can play both sides 100%? Because NFL is brutal. I mean, these guys are getting hurt like every week, every other play, like they're going down. And I think it is a lot. Not saying that he's incapable, but I think for anyone, to offense and defense in an NFL game with these big, huge guys, like I think ultimately that will take a toll on him. And I think it might shorten the longevity of his career.
I mean, I don't think he can play 100% of the snaps. If that's what
Mhm.
you're asking,
No,
no, he
not 100%
can't.
understand. I just mean like, like
No,
really be 100% on both sides in the NFL. Like play at that kind of level. Not play every single snap on both sides. I'm just saying, like, can you be your best, like the absolute best you can be on offense and defense?
I'll say this: what Travis Hunter is doing hasn't ever been done. Yes, we've seen guys play both offense and
Hmm.
defense. We saw Dion play some wide receiver with the Cowboys, but you got to understand, Dion was strictly a cornerback.
Hmm.
He mastered the role of cornerback, and then he was like, "Hey, I can play wide too," and then they let him do it, and he was pretty decent at wide, but he wasn't playing 100% of the snaps at wide. They were just putting him in there when they needed him or different packages. He also did punt returns and kickoffs
Hmm.
and things like that, but he was strictly a cornerback. We saw Charles Woodson. He was mostly a DB. He
Hmm.
would come in and he can do some wide here and there. So this is the first time a guy has come in the league and said, "I'm playing both positions."
Yeah.
Never been done before. So what I think it's hard for people to adjust their eyeballs to seeing something that they've never seen before. And I'm all for it. I applaud Jacksonville for allowing him to do it, and I applaud him for wanting to do it. It's almost like we see in baseball. We see Shohei Ohtani.
Hmm.
Nobody had ever seen a guy pitch, hit, and play the field,
Hmm.
and they allowed him to do it, and he's successful. Now he doesn't pitch all the time, but when
Hmm.
he does pitch, he's very effective. And I just think, because they didn't even want Shohei to do it, but Japanese told
Hmm.
America, "We're not gonna let him come over there to America if you don't let him do it." So if we go off what people think another person's capabilities are, we miss out on greatness every time.
For me, it's not so much. I applaud what Travis is doing. I applaud what he did in college because obviously, like it's hard, to play football in my opinion anyway. But to be in the NFL and to play offense and defense, what you put your body through, week in and week out, I commend him or anyone for kind of charting, going like to uncharted waters, so to speak, and trying to doing something that hasn't been done before. I applaud Jacksonville for allowing him to do something different, to believe in him and let him do that. But I'm just thinking about the longevity of his career, and because NFL, like football in general, takes such a toll on your body, my concern and my thought more so is, will that be sustainable for a long career? Like, will he get can he play for 10, 12 years on both sides of the ball? And I'm just wondering if he's stuck with one. Let's say he did wide out for, I don't know, 5 years, and then went over, would that be more beneficial, more sustainable for him in the long run?
Well, honestly, we're gonna have to find out. But I believe what Dion say about him, and Dion
Hmm.
say this is a special athlete. This is a
Hmm.
one of a kind athlete. This is a different animal.
Hmm.
And if he's that, then I really believe he can do it.
Hmm.
And I really want to see him do it.
I mean, the jury's out, like I said, because obviously time will always ultimately tell. You know what I mean? Like
Correct.
we'll have our
Right.
thoughts, what we think right now, but we shall see. We shall see. But moving along, oh man, I'm not even sure. There's so much that happened, but I'm just gonna go on right here because oh man, this was the topic of every sports show I watched today. It was cry Eagles, cry, why Eagles, why? It was just crazy. And I'm just like, okay, I feel like I'm starting to get concerned. I feel like I saw this movie before a few seasons ago when it was all good because they were winning, they were undefeated, and then but they weren't happy. It was some turmoil, in the locker room, some dissension, and then ultimately it just crashed and burned. And I'm just like, are we headed there? Do you see it headed there? What are your thoughts?
I mean, it don't look good right now.
Mhm.
Um, AJ Brown started complaining about having targets and things of that nature.
Oh, hold on,
And
hold on. I'm gonna play this really quickly. Play the sound bite.
okay,
This is from obviously a post game interview.
Um, just had finished in the second half. Just the inconsistency showed up again. So,
Left a couple players out there who wasn't on the same page, but ultimately we gotta get on the same page and continue to be on the same page.
All right. So what you heard, AJ Brown, and then Devontae, AJ saying, inconsistency showed up again, and then you hear Devontae saying we are not on the same page. He kind of reiterated that a few times. So with that in mind, what did you want to say? Or finish your thought.
winning is winning. You win however you win. It can be an ugly win. It don't have to look good. But I know this. Jalen Hurts throwing the ball 38 times and Saquon only rushing 6 times. That's not a winning formula.
Mm-hmm.
And if Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles are trying to appease these wide receivers, Devontae Adams, Devontae, um, I'm sorry, AJ Brown and Smith. And Smith doesn't really say too much, but AJ Brown,
No, he
he
doesn't.
he does that passive aggressive type stuff.
We know.
No, we play to win. You paid Devontae Smith. You
Mhm.
paid AJ. You paid Saquon Barkley. You paid Jalen Hurts. Let's go out there and win by any means necessary, even if it's ugly. Even if you get no yards in the second half, but you win,
Mhm.
then you win. I just don't like this thing where I'd rather lose and be pretty than win ugly. That don't make any sense to me.
Honestly, I'm not sure if it's a matter of I rather, lose or lose ugly or win pretty. For me, I feel like, and I said this before, winning to me is not everything. To me, I look at how you win. When you lose, I'm like, how did you lose? Like, was it a blowout? Did you look like you had no idea what the heck was going on? Was your coach looking like he didn't know how to coach? Or did you just lose the game because the other team was just better? You know what I mean? Like the quality of how you win, makes a difference to me. And then listening to them talking about inconsistencies, and I feel like their new OC, although he's been in the building, it don't seem like he knows like how to call plays. I feel like he listened to what the outside noise was saying, and he said, okay, I'm gonna try to make sure I keep AJ happy and all these different things. And they kind of just forgot about Saquon, So I'm for me, I'm just like, what is the identity? Because last season it was obviously Saquon. You know what I mean? We knew it was going to happen pretty much in every single game. Get it to Saquon and let him do what he does. But
Right.
this season, I feel like they're like I said, like they're all over the place. And I do agree with AJ in terms of him saying inconsistency showed up again. It is inconsistent. Like, what are you doing? Yes, you have been winning, and that kind of covers it all up. But if it keeps going like this and you're just trying to do things at random to kind of appease the naysayers and the analysts on television, you're not going to repeat like that.
You're not. I mean, but AJ, you have to look in the mirror. Have you been consistent? I mean, they gave you 8 targets yesterday. They were throwing you the ball.
Mm-hmm.
They can't keep forcing it to you, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Saquon needs the ball. Everybody should know that Saquon needs to touch the ball more than 6 times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hurts is not a gunslinger. 38 times, that's gunslinger mentality.
Yeah.
That's just not how the Philadelphia Eagles win football games.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, there's an issue that Sirianni, and I'm putting this on Sirianni. You're the head
Yeah.
coach. You have to be the one that go and galvanize the locker room and bring everybody together and tell them this is how we're going to win. If the defense want to put 8-9 in the box to stop Saquon, we air it out. If it's only one safety up top, we air it out. If they're going to play you guys, cover 2,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to roll coverage to AJ or they're going to roll coverage to Devontae, guess what we're going to do? We're going to pound Saquon Barkley. They can't stop what we're going to do because you got to also add that Jalen Hurts can run as well. And we got the tush push. So just win, guys. Don't worry about what it looked like. I don't care what the win looked like. I just want to win. But I understand where you're coming from because some things that you can't accept in the win if you can't accept them in the loss. And I get that, but I don't think this is this type of situation. Devontae Smith played great yesterday. He had over 100-yard receptions, had 8 catches.
Yeah, he had a good game today. He did.
You lost the game. It don't matter what you did. It's only a matter about winning. And I want them to get back to what they did the first 4 weeks, where they were horrible every second half, but they were winning football games. And they was coming back from behind winning football games. They just lost to the Denver Broncos. And the Eagles are a better team than the Denver Broncos. I don't care what nobody tell me.
Mm-hmm. What's up, Bruce? He said Eagles better be careful and not become like the Seahawks, forcing Russ to throw the ball when they had beast mode. Yeah, I heard a lot about that. Like I said, I stand by this. Yes, they were winning in the first 4 weeks, but that locker room it seems like it's a problem again. I'm not even sure if they ever got over what happened a few seasons ago where they were winning and they kind of just nosed down. I think last season, obviously, because they ended up winning it all, it kind of covered up what was still there, and it feels like it's popped back up again. To me, I don't think it ever went away, obviously. This is why I said this last week, like at some point, they got to have a come to Jesus moment, a conversation, and really like, look, this is what we're going to do. This is what the team is about. You know what I mean? This is our identity on offense, and then defense is whatever defense is. But on offense, we're going to run the ball. And like, we're going to do what's best for the team. If Saquon is the one that needs to get the ball, it's going to be a Saquon game. AJ, if it's your time, you know what I mean? It'll be your game. Like, however, if it's Jalen Hurts, got to just push the whole game, whatever it is, we're going to push the whole damn game. But that's what's going to happen. Right now, I feel like there's too much dissension for me. So even with them winning, if they keep winning with the dissension in the locker room like this, they're not going to repeat.
Well, you're not going to keep winning. And winning the Super Bowl doesn't cure all those L's that y'all had, then nothing will. I would say this, even when you win in the NFL, it's early in the season. There's always things to fix. No team has played the perfect game. So until we play the perfect game, there's always something that we can work on to get better and fix. And that's what practice is for. So I think the Eagles have some deficiencies that they need to fix. But while you're fixing those deficiencies, still play to your strengths, because your strengths are good enough to beat 90% of the teams in the NFL.
Should they get rid of their new offensive coordinator, like right now, before it gets even worse?
No, you can't.
No? You don't think so?
No, not yet. They 4-1. Just let's fix the things that we need to fix, get on the same page, and go out and win football. Now, this issue, if we're having the same issue in week 7, week 8, then it's time for some heads to roll.
I don't feel like he seems like he knows what he's doing. I feel like with what they did this week, I'm like, okay, you were busy watching ESPN or you were on Instagram. You said, oh, you heard the local Philly news stations, and you said, okay, you know what? We're gonna try to make sure AJ gets the ball this game. We're gonna do what everybody says we should do
Right.
and just see what happens. Because to me, I'm like, why would you do something like that? Like like wow, it's not a winning formula. You know what I mean? Like you were up and then they started coming back, and obviously they had some great comebacks, with the block kick, and I forgot the guy's name. I don't want to say a chubby guy. I want to be rude, but he got the ball and ran it back, for a touchdown to end the game, and it was exciting. You know what I mean? Watching it as a fan, you're cheering like, yeah, look at that, go go go, right? But it's like, okay, that's not sustainable. Like that's not going to happen every single game.
Yeah, I'm just not ready to put it on the offensive coordinator. I
Mhm.
mean, he's been in. I mean, I know this is his first year as the offensive coordinator, but he's
Mhm.
been with the organization.
He
He's been the
has,
passing game coordinator. He's been the associate head coach. So it's not like they're running a new system. They're
but
running
you
the
should know what to do. Like you
right.
should know what needs to happen.
Yeah, and the first 4 weeks, what was needing to happen was happening, and you win the football game. Now again, you always have things that you have to work on and get better.
Mhm.
But when you start to allow the players to dictate, and I know it's the locker room, and I know
Mhm.
at some level you do have to accommodate the players to keep them happy and things like that. So
Mhm.
you did that this game. Okay, it cost you a game. That's gonna happen in the NFL. Sometimes you lose because you're trying
Yeah.
to make people happy. Just don't make it a habit. Make sure that you get on the same page with the players be on the same page, and at the end of the day, make sure that the goal is for everybody to want to win.
Mhm.
And I still think the Eagles got the best team in football.
I mean, the goal I think ultimately is they do want to win, but AJ wants to be involved in a way. I think that
Right.
that's also like so we can win, but make sure I'm
Yeah.
involved in the win more times than not.
And it's understood because he's looking at the landscape of the wide receivers. You saw Jamar
Mhm.
Chase get paid. You saw CeeDee Lamb get paid. You saw what Justin Jefferson got. Tyreek
Mhm.
Hill even got a raise. And he's like, the only way possible for me to go and ask for more money is
Yeah.
if I put up big numbers. They're
Yeah,
not gonna care
yeah.
about we were winning. They're gonna say, what does your numbers look like?
And yeah, that's
So
the unfortunate part about it because it's
right,
like I'm here, I'm more than capable, but I wasn't getting the ball, and then they'll be like, "Oh well, we only pay you this much." So it's like I understand the frustration because I'm glad we're winning, but I want to be paid. You know what I mean? So
right.
if I can't be paid properly because I'm not able to do what I can do, then it's like, how do you balance that out? DJ, what's up, DJ? Do you think this starts a losing streak for the Eagles? I believe they play the Giants on Thursday.
Oh yeah,
I
you
don't
can't.
see them
You're
I don't see them
right.
losing that game. I don't.
The Giants are the perfect remedy for when you're going
I
through
don't.
something. You can
I
get it
actually,
fixed real
I feel
quick.
bad for Jackson because I think Jalen Carter is going to be on that ass. So I'm like, honestly speaking, I don't see them on a losing streak. I mean, they're not going to just. I don't expect them to only lose one game the whole season. Like they probably will lose again, but a
Right.
losing streak, I don't see that happening just yet. What about you?
Nah. If they lose to the Giants,
We
I'm
got a
hitting
big
the
problem.
panic. I'm hitting the panic button. We gotta stop this right here. But I think the Giants are just what they need.
Hmm.
Because with the Giants, you can try some things. You can
Hmm.
see if this is gonna work. You can see if it don't work. How it don't work, we'll do something different. So
Hmm.
the Giants are the perfect medicine for when you trying to get off the snide.
Poor Giants. Honestly speaking, I know we were like, this is not like we were talking about this, but I don't like what I saw from Jackson Dart. Meaning, not that he's not talented or I don't like him. I think he's got a lot of swag. I like him as a person. I think he's the perfect personality to be an NFL QB. I really, really do. And I think his future is bright. I feel like he was throttled out there because Brian's trying to keep his job. And
Yeah,
his natural instinct is to run, run, run. When you go
right.
against some teams with these better defenses, like you're going to get knocked on your behind. And I'm just like concerned, like before he gets hurt, I'm just like, maybe you might want to put Jameis in there to kind of
No,
bridge it a little bit.
don't
Don't
put
get him
James in
hurt.
there.
No,
If
right now everybody's
put
like
James
laughing
in there,
at
put
it.
the rest.
Everybody's laughing at it right now. But if he gets hurt, you know what I mean? Like his heads are really gonna roll. So I'm just like, you really got to be careful. Like like his natural instinct is to scramble and run, but that's not gonna work every game. You
Yeah,
got to figure something else out.
you gotta play football though, and that's football. He's a rookie. he's gonna take some bumps early. He's gonna make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
He has to learn the game. There's no better way to learn the game. I mean, unless you afford the opportunity to sit and watch a veteran do it, there's no better way to learn the game than to go out there. I mean, you look at Peyton Manning the first year, he was 2-14, led the league in picks. He
Mm-hmm.
was sacked the whole lot. And then after that, he was one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play. So
But did he not stay in the pocket?
yeah, he stayed in the pocket and he still took a lot of sacks. He still got hit. I mean, Jackson Dart just has to learn how to play. Yes, Dayball put him in there because Dayball is trying to save his job. But
And that's my thing. Are you doing what's best for him? I know everybody want to keep their job, want to keep the lights on, pay your bills. I get it. Nobody wants to be unemployed, especially in this economy. Like, I get it. Inflation is real. But you know, if he gets hurt, you really gonna be up out of there.
yeah, he's gonna be. I don't think Dayball can do anything to save his job, honestly.
You think he's going regardless, no matter what?
I think he's going regardless. Unless the Giants somehow reel off 8 straight wins and put
Mhm.
themselves in playoff contention, I don't see Dayball being back. But it's an opportunity for him to show that he
Mhm.
can develop a quarterback and maybe he can get a job with another team going forward. But I think him and the general manager, I think both of them are out of here after this season. But again, even if Jackson Dart does get hurt, which
Mhm.
quarterbacks get hurt, I mean, we've seen veteran quarterbacks go down. I don't
Yeah,
go
yeah.
Jameis
I mean,
Winston.
yeah.
I go back to Russell Wilson. I'm not Jameis Winston cannot throw my football ever.
Jameis can throw the football.
He's colorblind. All he does, if you open, he gonna throw it to you. It don't matter what jersey color you got on, because he.
Okay, I'm done.
So
Jameis says, I like Jameis. I'm not gonna rag on him today. I'm gonna let you. I'm in my nice mood today, so I'm not gonna load the clip today too much. Bruce said underestimating the Giants will be a mistake. I'm not underestimating them. I just honestly looking at what I've seen, I don't like it. Watching them this past game, I don't trust that O-line. They didn't look good with Russ. They don't look that good with Jackson. It's just that he's more athletic and he can use his legs to kind of extend plays and escape, which kind of makes them look a little bit better. But overall, I don't like it. Malik is gone for the season. I'm just that for me, that's what it's more so about, more so than underestimate. I don't like what I'm seeing from them.
and that's the thing. Jackson Dart has a big arm and he's mobile, but with
Mhm.
Malik Neighbors being out, I'm kind of like, okay, where's his deep threat now?
Mhm.
I don't know what happened with the Hyatt kid. He was pretty fast. He only had one route. He only knew how to run the 9 route, but he can run the
Mhm.
9 route real well. And Jackson Dart can get it to him. But I agree with Bruce. The Eagles better not underestimate the Giants. They still are a professional football team with guys who are getting paid money to play at
Sure.
a high level. And if you go in there and you underestimate the Giants are going to beat you. Just like they beat the
Mhm.
Chargers. The Chargers were a good team. Now the Chargers got some offensive line issues, and we've seen that Spears ugly head again this week. But the Giants are a professional football team, and on any given Sunday, you can be beat.
On Thursday.
On Thursday or Monday.
On Monday.
Sometimes Wednesday.
DJ said it might be a trick game for the Eagles. Do you think so? I don't think so. What do you think?
Well, I understand what you call a trick game. We used to call it a trap game.
Mhm.
It can be. It can be, but only reason I don't think it's a trick game for the Eagles is because the Eagles are coming off a bad loss.
Yeah.
When you're coming off a bad loss and you're trying to get everybody on the same page in the locker room, you tend to be more focused going into that next week, understanding that if we lose to the Giants, then everybody's going to really be panicking from the top all the way down. And we don't need that. So I think the Eagles are going to be extra focused this week, understanding that they have to get this train back on the track.
Jalen Hurts has been very
Yeah.
disappointing. Really? I don't think he's been disappointing. I think he does what he always does, what which was his asked of him. Like he does what was asked of him. Like he doesn't do any more, any less. And as long as it results in winning, he don't care. He's like, if I
No,
need to throw, I need to run,
he means
whatever.
Jalen Hyatt, the
Mhm.
wide receiver with the Giants, who's really
Oh, okay,
fast,
my bad.
who's really fast. But I agree. He has been disappointing. He was supposed to be a lot better than what he is, and I don't see him. I don't know if they got him inactive every week or
Mhm.
what he's doing, but he is a deep threat and he can take the top off. And I think Jackson Dart needs somebody who can take the top off the defense so that he can operate in the middle. And so with Malik Neighbors being gone, I think this is the perfect opportunity for Jalen Hyatt to show up and make some plays.
Yeah, we gonna see how it goes though, but they better not lose to the Giants. They better not. Speaking of losing, oh man, honestly, I feel really bad because I like Aaron Glenn, but this Jets team, I mean, they just look pathetic out there and just pitiful. They don't seem like they have any pride. They don't seem like they really care. And just because I know they kind of came on and they finally scored a little bit in that second half, but don't be fooled. Like that game was been over. It was over. The penalties, I mean, it's just constant flags like every 2 seconds. And they say what either you're coaching it, right, or you're condoning it. I don't think it's either, like looking at Aaron Glenn and like how he's been in the past. I just don't know. To me, I don't sweat the players don't feel like they care to win. Like they don't feel like they're motivated. Just Justin Fields. I'm like, what's going on? I don't know. That first week against the Steelers, it looked really good. I said, okay, this team's going to be competitive. Justin looks better than what I thought. We'll see how this goes. And he got hurt. I understood that. And now that he's back, I'm just like, what is going on? I'm really concerned that Aaron Glenn's going to be fired into the season or before the season's up.
And I hate this because I like Aaron Glenn too, but he seems to be in over his head. It's almost like he doesn't know what he's doing with his team. I don't see an identity with the Jets. Even under Robert Saleh, they had an identity. They were going to play good defense, and only thing they were missing was a quarterback and the offense. And they made a mistake by bringing in Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers just decimated the whole organization. But the defense was pretty good when Robert Saleh was there. They was one of the top defenses in the game. Now there's no identity with the Jets, and he's cutting guys every week. If you fumble the football, you're getting cut. He's cut multiple guys, and it's still not resulting into wins. You're not putting fear into anybody. The team is undisciplined. The penalties are out of control. The offense looks stagnant. The defense is non-existent. So it's almost like, what are you doing? What are you bringing to the team? And if we can't get an answer to that, then unfortunately he's gonna be out of there. But I pray that they can get a win this week, and Aaron Glenn can keep his job at least for the rest of the season.
Something you just said about him, letting players go. Is it maybe he's trying, to be too, iron fist? This is what it's gonna be, like this, that, very structured military kind of coach. Maybe the players are not just vibing with his method of coaching. Could that be it? Because I'm just like, you get paid. These professional players, like you said, we were talking about, the Giants, and I can't tell because the penalties to me are the most alarming thing. I'm just like, you just got a flag for that 2 seconds ago. Like that happened last game. Like that happened 5 minutes ago. Like, how do you keep making the same mistakes? Are you trying to fix it or are you doing it on purpose? I really can't tell.
Honestly, I think the Jets reached with this hire. And I like Aaron Glenn, but when he was with Detroit as a defensive coordinator, it wasn't like Detroit defense world beaters. They was middle to bottom of the pack. He was Dan Campbell's boy, so Dan Campbell liked him, and they got along. And there were times with Detroit a couple years ago where Detroit defense was so bad that Dan Campbell was facing the decision: do I keep Aaron Glenn or do I let him go? He stuck with him, and I'm glad he did. And with Detroit having the overall team success, we saw that Ben Johnson. Now Ben Johnson is the truth. He got plucked, and I think the Jets reached. They said, "Well, we're going to get something off that team too. We're going to go and get Aaron Glenn the opportunity. He played with the Jets. We're going to bring some sort of nostalgia back to the organization." But I just don't think he was qualified to be a head coach. in the first place. And I hate to say that because I always want to see a black coach get an opportunity
Yeah.
and go prove it. So I wanted Aaron Glenn to prove me wrong, but right now he's proving me right.
So how do you think he goes about, I don't know, like fixing it? You know, I mean, because he's cutting players. I'm pretty sure, like he's talking to them, you know, and they're going over film and they're breaking it down. You know, they're talking about things at practice they need to fix. I don't think he's not trying to fix the issues. I'm just like, there's definitely a disconnect there. Like whatever his message is, it's not being received. You know, and so what do you think? You know, how should he go about fixing it, or how can he to keep his job?
I don't honestly. I just think when you're in over your head as a head coach, some of the time the best thing to do is hire the right coordinators, hire the guys around you, and I just don't think he has the right guys around him. You
Should he
know,
just focus on just being the head coach and just bringing somebody else in and just let them focus on defense?
well, he's supposed to be a defensive guy.
I know, but it's
So
not looking like that though. That's the thing. So I'm
it's
just
not
like,
looking like
maybe,
that. I
yeah,
think
maybe, yeah,
I
because you're
think
like, it's your first time. Like, just focus on head coaching and get somebody else.
yeah, see, he hired his buddies to be the coach.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more concerned with the offense. Now, again, he's the defensive guy. That's just something that you're supposed to do. You can go hire a defensive coordinator, but at the end of the day, when you start losing game and your defense is giving up points, the man upstairs is gonna come down and tell you, well, you call the defense. That's your specialty. That's what I want to do. But on offense, I mean, he brought Tanner Eggstrand over from Detroit with him, and he was the passing game coordinator, the tight ends coach. And he's somebody who's been with Aaron Glenn for a long time. So he brought a familiar face, but not necessarily a qualified guy, because we know that Ben Johnson was the offensive coordinator, and the guy that is running the offense right now for Detroit was the right-hand man to Ben Johnson. So you didn't even get the right-hand man. You got like the third guy. Well, I'm sorry, that's just not gonna cut it. Plus you don't have the personnel to run the same offense that the Detroit Lions were running.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't have the same type of quarterback that they have. You don't have that same two-headed monster in the running backs behind them. You don't have a Sam Laporta. You don't have Jameson Williams. You don't have
Jameis Winston. Jay Jameis.
Numero uno, what it is. Right. So you don't have the same personnel. So no, you gotta run a different offense that fits the players that you have.
Oh man, I so want him to succeed. Like you said, like black coaches, like the leash is a lot shorter. You know, like you really got to make sure, even if your team is not winning, they look disciplined if nothing else. You know, like they don't even look like they're disciplined. You know, to me that's the biggest thing, the discipline, like just the lack of effort. I mean, I mean, how many touchdowns was it? It was like no one in sight. You know, I was like they're just wide open. I mean, just walking right into the end zone. I'm just like, huh? Like, even I know, like, you got to defend, like, you got to be in the vicinity, you know, like, what are we doing here? And I feel, looking at him on the sideline, I feel really bad. I'm like, man, I feel you, Aaron. I know, just pray about it. I'll be sitting there like, man, let this man at least get one more season to do something different.
Well,
but I don't know if he's going to get it.
He might not. You know, the leash is short for any coach that's not winning in the NFL. I mean, definitely. If you're not winning this the way, I mean, we saw Frank Wright win the Super Bowl, go to Carolina, fired. First year, go to Indianapolis, fired. Freddie Kitchens in Cleveland, don't last the whole season, fired. If you put a poor product out there on the field where it just seems like you have no clue of what you're doing, they're gonna get you out of there quick. I just hope he can survive just because he's a black head coach. But if I wasn't looking at that, I was like, man, y'all gotta get this guy out of here, man. He don't know what the hell he doing.
I don't think I don't I know obviously he's the head coach, so when your team looks that bad, like they could have put it on you, especially when the defense looks bad. It's like, well, that's your calling card. So if anything, the defense should at least good. The offense doesn't, but both sides just look crazy.
Right.
I just like I will look. I just hope that they at least give him this season and next season, or to see what can happen. Just because I know like it's hard. Like it's rough to get these head coaching jobs. They don't come around. Every Tuesday. So
Look,
we shall see what happens. But
if he goes 0-17, he has no
well, I
shot.
mean, over 17. I mean, look,
I thought New Orleans was the worst team in the league. And I
over
think
17 as well.
Justin Fields is better than Spencer Rattler.
Mm-hmm.
And New Orleans play with heart every week. They compete every week.
Mm-hmm.
Went out and they won a game this week. I'm sorry. The Jets. I just need you to show me that you compete. Now, the first week they played against Pittsburgh,
And that was the last time.
that was the last time I seen them compete.
This is the first and only time. I don't know what the heck happened. I don't know, but I'm like, they can't even turn and go to the backup because the backup is awful. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna put this out there. Like
I like Tyrod Taylor.
Shiloh Sanders is looking for a job on somebody's defense. Should Aaron Glenn put a call in to Dion, like, get your boy in here? Let him see what he does.
Good.
You said no?
No, Shiloh ain't good.
Oh,
I saw that in Colorado. I was like, oh, he ain't gonna go to the league. I said somebody gonna give him a shot because he's Dion's son, but
yeah.
he's not that good.
I mean, what they have is not looking too good. Maybe because he has the heart and he really wants it, he might show up.
You got a point. Bring him in for a tryout at least.
Like let him try it. I mean, what you got to lose? You're already losing.
Right.
You're not winning. What's he gonna mess up? If I'm being honest. Man, what's up? What's up? Simply Ball dropping. What's going on? How you doing, my guy? Who else is in here? I see Dre. What's up, Dre? How you doing? Dre said, Kaja, you grinding. I just walked in the crib. What you was up to, Dre? What you was up to? But yeah, you guys. So now we're gonna go to the other side of things. We're gonna go to the Cowboys because look, people are talking about Dak, okay? Like, and we know, all right, we know Dakota Rain, we know, Rain, we know how it goes, right? Good in regular season, and then postseason, it's not what it's supposed to be, what we want it to be. But I will say, I feel like there's just something different with Dak this season. I don't know. Like I said, it could be him being a father now and, engaged or, something different to play for. But it's just something different about him. And I'm looking at him without CD. Micah's not there. And obviously the defense is what it is. But the offense, and they were missing, 4 starters on offense yesterday?
Yeah.
And they still, I'm looking at who they were playing, but these are still NFL players. They still got to go out there and compete. And I like what I'm seeing from him. Now, the record obviously doesn't reflect how good the offense looks to me. But I'm honestly impressed by the offense. And I don't like Jerry, but I'm impressed by the offense. What you think? Are we sleeping on the Cowboys?
I don't think we're sleeping on the Cowboys, but Dak is playing well. Definitely against poor teams. He's the Giants. He put up big numbers. He put up big numbers. I mean, he put up big numbers every week. The Jets, Chicago. He's putting up big numbers against a lot of bad teams.
What about the Packers though? We thought they were like Super Bowl contenders week 1 and week 2.
Yeah, and then he put up. He's playing on the MVP level. His numbers look great.
Okay,
I put him on the level. I mean, I don't think he's MVP because of the record, but he's putting up big numbers. It's great. Dak is playing like a quarterback who has no pressure on him at all.
You don't think so? With that $60 million?
This is my point. He got paid his money last year. He hurt himself. He was out for the season. Okay, he's back. He know the defense ain't no good. He know my money good. My money guaranteed. I'm gonna get my bread. Man, I'm finna just go out here and play football, man. I done whooped Jerry at the table twice. I'm just gonna go out here and add. I'm gonna do my thing and let the chips fall where they may. I mean, don't get me wrong. There could be pressure, but he's playing like there is no pressure on him. He's just playing football. He's playing really good football. He got good wide receivers. I mean, and then Javonte Williams, he's looking like a new running back. He's running the ball very well. So it's a very balanced offense.
I
So
like George Pickens too. I liked him at
yeah,
the
George
Steelers.
Pickens is balling. He seems like he has a whole new attitude adjustment.
Yeah, he want to get paid. He better.
Right. So
You
and
better.
and,
You better toughen up. You better shape up.
and Dak is throwing him the ball. And
Hmm.
George Pickens has always been a talented receiver.
Yeah,
Everybody know he's
just that
good.
attitude,
He just
temperamental.
been the
Yeah.
attitude. But I think his attitude is very well now that CeeDee Lamb is out. And he's the number
Yeah,
one
because he gets to
option,
be
and
the
he's getting the
focus. Yeah.
target. Let's see how this plays out when CeeDee Lambs come back and starts getting 12, 13 targets a game, and
Hmm.
George Pickens go back to getting 3 or 4.
Hmm.
Then we'll see if his attitude remains the same. But as of right now, Dak is balling. What can I say? But I don't think anybody is sleeping on the Cowboys because their defense is trash.
I mean, I keep hearing, name me a quarterback that's playing better than Dak in the NFL right now. Like I've heard that for like the past 4 weeks in a row. Like, name me a QB that's playing better than Dak. And also, nobody was really people were really questioning Jerry getting rid of Mike McCarthy and hiring Shoddy, right? And so far, he seems to be doing an okay job. As the head coach. I mean, obviously, we'll have to see as the season goes on. But so far, I'm not mad at how he's been coaching. I'm like, maybe I was like, who is this guy? Like, where'd you get him from, Jerry? What the hell are you doing? But he looks better than Aaron Glenn, in the head coaching chair. So I don't know. I think I'm not gonna say they're gonna win it all because that defense I think is gonna catch up with them, if they don't figure something out. But I think, if I think the Cowboys can get further this season than we expect them to in the postseason, should I say.
If they get to the postseason,
I definitely
they're
think
in a,
I think
t-
the offense
they're
is
in a
going to
tough
get them.
division. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. It seemed like Jalen, the quarterback in Washington. I don't know why Jaden
James.
Daniels.
Hmm.
It seemed like he might just regressed a little bit, but he played well yesterday. I still
Juju was there. But
yeah,
go ahead.
Juju was that they had the handshake thing. Right. I expect Philly and Washington to be better than Dallas. So that means Dallas could sneak in as a wild card, but I just think their defense is too bad, too terrible to really expect too much out of. I mean, Dak is going to have to throw for 300, 350 yards every game. Now, if he does that, then yeah, they have a shot. But I just don't see him throwing for 350 yards every game and giving them a chance to win. At some point, you're going to have to play Philly again. You got to play Washington twice, along with the rest of the schedule. I just
I mean, they could have beat Philly though in that first game. Honestly
they could have
speaking. Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb dropped 4 passes that were and definitely 2 passes in crunch time that if he would have caught, it would have changed the outcome of the game. So Dak has ball every game, even when they lose.
Hmm.
So I'll give him that. Maybe Dak can throw them into the playoffs.
If you
But
can get in, you
that's
can
about it.
win. That's what I always say. If you can get in, you can win.
Not
That's
with that
it.
defense. And Jerry knows that.
The offense can get them there. Now, once you get there, you gotta your 60 mil because Jerry said, look, Dak was indispensable. Michael wasn't. Okay. That's what he
Right.
said verbatim. So when you get in, okay, indispensable, 60 million, no trade clause, better show up. Otherwise, why am I paying you 60 million? So we shall see. Hold on. Brandon Holland. I haven't seen you here before. What's up? Lawrence really won through the power of Tylenol. I'm not sure what that one means. Maybe I'm missing something. Aziz Al Shair hit Lawrence so hard. Oh, he actually got better. OMG.
Well, he
But
got time to sit. He got time to sit, and maybe sometimes when you sit and you watch the game from
Mhm.
afar, you can see things a little bit different, and you can come back and play. But let's be honest. Tonight was the best game Trevor Lawrence played all season.
Mhm.
Those other games, even though they won, they were
And it was
shaky.
his birthday.
Yeah, today was his birthday.
Yeah, so they were saying, when they were
Oh,
talking to him after
okay.
the game. Happy birthday, Trevor.
Yeah. Maybe he had something lined up, and he had to perform well to make sure. But I'm just saying, he hasn't played this well all season.
Mhm.
Tonight, he played like a real number one quarterback pick in the draft. So I was impressed with Trevor Lawrence tonight.
Yeah. I'm gonna let you take this question. DJ said, "Do you think the Cowboys will catch the Commanders and Eagles?"
I'm gonna say no, but I'm not gonna write it out of the question honestly because
You gotta pick one.
I'm okay. I'm gonna pick no, but I'm just telling you because we already discussed it earlier. The Eagles might be about to implode,
And That's
if
true.
they implode, then that's gonna be that. And the
Mhm.
Commanders have been dealing with a plethora of injuries all season.
Mhm.
Is Jaden Daniels gonna be able to stay healthy and get through the season? Terry McLaurin has been hurt. The running backs then went down. They got defensive players going in and out. So if the Commanders are gonna be riddled with injuries all year, then
Mhm.
all bets are off. So the Cowboys could come back realistically and catch those teams. I don't think they will, but it's always a possibility.
I was gonna ask you, Jaden, his size to me, even when he was in college, looking at him now, should he put on some more muscle? He a little
Of
frail looking to
course.
me. I'm concerned. I'm like, maybe you just put a couple. I'm not saying you got to put on like 30 pounds of muscle, but just a little something, because he's tiny. I think I got more muscle than he does.
That's funny. Yeah, he probably should gain at least another 10 pounds, somewhere between 10 15 pounds. Just because to take the hits that
Yeah,
he's gonna have to take. But
that's what I was
and he's
doing.
still fast, so it
He is,
won't take
yeah.
too much his speed away. But I agree. He's very thin, and a few pounds of muscle, that'll help. We saw it with Lamar Jackson. He put on a few
Mhm.
pounds of muscle, then he lost a little weight, but he put on more muscle, got a little bit bulkier because he knows he's going to be running the football. He's going to be taking hits, and you
Mhm.
have to be able to take those hits. You have to be able to withstand those hits.
True.
So yes, Jaden Daniels probably could use another 10 to 15 pounds.
Since you brought it up, I hate to go here because I am a fan. My second favorite QB. But man, we gotta talk about it. The Ravens season, honestly, I think is over. I don't know when Lamar is coming back. Like the hamstring can be tricky, but if he's not coming back like soon, like next game soon, I don't know. I really don't because I'm like I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't. Defense I was questionable for me anyway. But with him out now, and then they've been like the injuries are crazy. They're like the
Right.
Cowboys a little bit, in terms of the offense. I mean, like you missing like all your best players, like your star players, along with your star quarterback. So I'm like, realistically, how can you still expect to compete at a high level without your QB who always gives you a chance, but he's not there? And Cooper, no.
You have legitimate concerns, but I'm saying hold your horses.
Okay. For how many more weeks?
Lamar has only missed one game. I expect him to miss at the most 2 more games, but maybe he'll just miss 1 more game.
And then they have the bye, I think, right after that.
Yes, the defense is awful. The defense is awful when they're healthy, let
Oh
alone
God, not when they're
when you're
healthy.
missing Kyle Hamilton and you're
Mhm.
missing Marlon Humphreys
Mhm.
out the back end. CJ Stroud look like the next coming of Warren Moon.
I was like, wait, 44 to what?
Right, the best game he's played all season. But you see why?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you why I'm not out on the Baltimore Ravens this season just yet.
Okay.
They do have Lamar Jackson. I expect him to come back soon and play good football.
What will the record be when he
But
gets back though? Right now, what they're 1-4.
they're
If
1-4.
they
They
lose
could
this
be
week, 1-5.
they could be 1-5. It's still early because you're in a division with the Cincinnati Bengals. Oh,
True.
you see what Jake Browning looks like. The Cleveland Browns.
We told them to close your door like last week. They ain't listen. But continue.
Who you told to call the door? The
The
Ravens?
Bengals, yeah, I said call your door.
Oh, the
Call 12.
Bengals? Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. All right, yeah, sure. Okay. But you got the Bengals, you
Uh-huh.
got the Cleveland Browns, who
Mhm.
we see where they at right now. They're trying to
Mhm.
figure some things out.
Mhm.
And you got the Pittsburgh Steelers, which I like the Pittsburgh Steelers, but
I don't trust them.
I'm not trusting Aaron Rodgers right now.
No.
I trust the Pittsburgh Steelers coaching staff and the defense,
Mhm.
but I'm not trusting Aaron Rodgers. So I just think Baltimore has an opportunity to catch up in that division. I don't think no team in that
I get
division is
I get what you're saying.
dominant enough to keep them out of playoff contention, or some week in week 15, 16, where there's a big game to see who's gonna win a division. So I still think Baltimore has a great chance because I still think they got the best quarterback in the division, and they still have the best offense, the most consistent offense in the division once Lamar is back.
Yeah, I mean, look, I guess when I look at what your record is, and I'm thinking about the injury that you have, it's same thing like with the Bengals. Like I don't know how long Lamar's going to be back. In a perfect world, let's say he misses this game, then they have the bye, so that'll be about 3 weeks off. And then hopefully, he can come back. But is he going to be back at 100%? That's the first thing to me. Well, at least close enough, to it. And then I'm also I think about him, I think about Joe Burrow as well. Like by the time they come back, what is the record going to be and what are the chances of them, getting to the playoffs? Because for me, I'm like, so I want to put my star players out there if we don't have a chance and mess around and make it even worse and they're out next season or half of next season on top of what they missed this season. That to me is a concern. I mean, we'll have to see what happens next week. I don't expect them to win again, obviously. But when he comes back, if you're still missing a lot of your star players as well, you're the part of your team, like the core part of your team. I don't know about just throwing him out there.
I'll say this: he has a hamstring issue, which
Mhm.
could affect him running the football.
And that's his thing.
That's
Well,
his
part of his
thing.
thing, yeah.
But he's the MVP of the league multiple times. You still got Derrick Henry in the backfield, and
Right now, Joshua Tyrell Allen is. I'm just gonna put that out there. Continue.
I'm just saying Lamar still has won MVP multiple times,
He has, yes.
and you have Derrick Henry back there. You can hand the ball off too. You can still run the football. It's time for Lamar Jackson, if he wants to play.
Mhm.
And even at 80% Lamar Jackson is better than 100% Cooper Rush. Let me see what you can do as a pocket passer. Work strictly in the pocket. Run some if you need, but I don't want you to rely on your legs because at some point, I believe in order for Baltimore to reach the promised land and win the Super Bowl, Lamar Jackson is going to have to learn how to manage football games. You can't always go out there and be the game changer. Sometimes you just have to put the ball in your playmaker's hand and allow them to win games for you. And that's one thing he hasn't shown me yet, his ability to manage football games. But that's what he's going to have to do if he wants to come back and play well this season because, that hammy is tricky. It can go at any time. And once you hurt your hammy during the season, it really doesn't get better until the offseason where you can allow it to rest and heal. So I just think now we're going to have to see a different dynamic of Lamar Jackson. And it's one that I'm looking forward to see because I believe he can do it. But the knock on him right now is, and definitely when it comes to the playoff time, if we can make him throw it to beat us, and he hasn't been able to do that.
I don't feel like he trusts himself. I feel like especially in those big moments in those big games in the playoffs, I feel like he doesn't do what I think that comes natural for him. Like was it maybe like 2 seasons ago when they were playing the Chiefs. I'm just like, why did you stop running the ball? Like it was effective for you. That's what got you here, and then you just stopped and then started trying to be Patrick Mahomes and just throw the ball. And it's not working. And nobody switched it. I was like yelling at my TV, like, run the freaking Lamar, run! Like there's space, run! Like, why are you standing there? I was so livid. I'm having flashbacks, forgive me, you guys. But and he said even his mom was like, why you didn't run? Like what the heck is going on? But I'm just like, I think a lot of times because he's Lamar and we have such high expectations of him, whether, he admits it or he doesn't. I feel like he obviously hears it. Maybe his mom says it, family and things of that nature. It's like even in those big moments, if he says, you know what, I'm just going to woosah and I'm going to manage the game. I'm not going to try to put my Superman cape on. And he, gives that ball to Derek or Flowers and it doesn't work out. It's going to go back to Lamar. See, we knew that Lamar, it's time to have a real conversation. Is Lamar ever going to win the Super Bowl? Like, can he ever, win in big moments, like all these different things. So I feel like for him, he's kind of like, I want to prove people wrong. Like in a sense, he may not say it, but I feel like a part of him in those big moments, I feel like it's in the back of his head, like I got to show people that I can win these big games, and they end up losing.
It has to be in the back of his head. See, when you run the football as much as Lamar Jackson does and take the amount of hits that he takes, it's gonna put a toll on your body. This isn't the first time we've seen Lamar miss games with injuries. He's been banged up a good portion of his career because of his style of play. But when you win the MVP 2 times, yes, the expectation is now Super Bowl. The media is going to be questioning, can you win a Super Bowl? Does he have to win a Super Bowl? And the answer is yes, because any quarterback that has ever won the MVP has been faced with those questions, let alone multiple time MVPs. So the criticism is legit. And I hope, and I don't think that the pressure is too much for him. I just think at some point it's going to come down to him pretty much not turning the ball over in the big games. Those 2 turnovers he had last year against Buffalo in the playoffs, those 2 turnovers cost him the game. And if he can eliminate the turnovers in those games because he's trying to be Superman, then I think the Baltimore Ravens have a good opportunity. Now they're gonna have to fix that defense. That defense is awful. It's not the same as it was for the last couple of years. This defense this is the worst defense he's played with. So right now, I picked Baltimore to go to the Super Bowl at the beginning of the season. But I'll be honest with you. I'm not confident in that pick at all.
I think you should scratch that right now.
I mean, if you allow me to do a do-over, I surely will, and I appreciate it.
Oh man, you guys, we're gonna have to wait and see. Look, I mean, I hope that he can get back sooner than later because obviously Mr. Rush is not it. This is why it goes back to say I said this a few weeks ago. I feel like when you're looking for your backup QB, you want to find someone who has similarities that can do similar things to what your starting QB does. Because right now I don't think he's his skill set to me is not beneficial to their style of offense.
It isn't. I mean, I think they got Tyler Huntley. Maybe they can play him. Man, it would have been great if Shador would have just said yes. I'll come to Baltimore instead of saying no, I don't want to go there because he would be playing right now.
That's true. He will be playing. I mean, look, all right, we're not gonna rag on Shador.
I'm just saying. I mean,
hindsight is 2020. You never know. But I think his thing, and I understand why he did it. Yeah,
you saw Cooper Rush play. Yeah, we're gonna start Shador this week, and we're gonna see how this thing work out.
But I mean, he didn't want to be a career backup, and I get why he wanted to go to compete because there's no competition between you and Lamar. But it don't matter how great you are in preseason, like you're not going to beat him at that job.
No, but that's not how the NFL works. Somebody should have told him that's not how the NFL works. You go in, you play these 2 or 3 games with no Lamar, and you ball out. What ends up
somebody else
another team call you. I saw this same thing happen with Jimmy Garoppolo, and he was sitting behind the GOAT. He was sitting behind Tom Brady. I seen the same thing happen with Matt Castle. He was sitting behind Tom Brady. Tom Brady goes out for the year. Matt Castle comes in. They go 11-5. Matt Castle gets the job with the Kansas City Chiefs next year. He's the starting quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo, Tom Brady goes down, gets suspended, actually for the cheating scandal. Garoppolo comes in. He plays so well. Belichick want to get rid of Brady. Now Brady cries to the owner, tell him get rid of Garoppolo. Okay, Garoppolo goes to San Francisco. They go to the Super Bowl. But if you play well as a backup, you're gonna get your opportunity to go somewhere, and they label you the franchise guy at that organization. So you weren't gonna be a career backup to Lamar Jackson if you go in there and ball. Next thing I know, you in New Orleans next year. That's your job.
I think that was what he was thinking when Eagles called him or when the Ravens reached out. I think he was like, okay, you got Jalen, you got Lamar, like it's not gonna happen for me, because Jalen is never really hurt. You know what I mean? For the most part, even when he is hurt, he still play.
He hurt. Jalen got hurt last year.
He still played. Yeah.
They put Kenny Pickett in for 3 games. Kenny Pickett played well. Kenny Pickett played well enough that Cleveland gave draft picks to the Eagles. Kenny Pickett was supposed to be the starting quarterback for the Browns.
And
He
then they
just
got
got
rid of
injured
him.
in preseason.
Yeah.
Right. So they traded him to the Raiders. And what is the talk this week? Kenny Pickett might be the starting quarterback of the Raiders because Geno Smith is playing
Really?
so awful. So that's the
Oh man.
conversation. But what I'm saying is, if you come in as a backup and show that you're good,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna have an opportunity elsewhere. We saw it with Baker Mayfield. We saw it with
Mm-hmm.
Sam Darnold. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
But I didn't have this on my thing, but it made me think about it when you brought up the 49ers, right? Niners gang, if y'all in here, you know what I mean? Stand up. Mac Jones, Brock Purdy. Mac has been looking pretty decent in that system, okay? I don't know if it's the Kyle Shanahan system or what, you know, maybe we misjudge Mac. I don't know. But it begs the question. Did Brock Purdy get overpaid?
No. He didn't get overpaid. He earned every dollar that
Mm-hmm.
he got. He didn't even get paid with some of the top quarterbacks are getting paid, but he got paid a fair salary for a starting quarterback in this league.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the system that Shanahan runs, it's a great system. If there's anybody in the league that deserves to be called the quarterback whisperer, it's Kyle Shanahan.
Mm-hmm.
Because we saw Mac Jones in New England. Hell, we saw him just last year in Jacksonville when Trevor Lawrence got hurt and Mac Jones had to come. He was awful. He was the worst quarterback in the league.
Next to Indiana Jones in New York
Indiana
at the
Jones was
time.
pretty bad. Yeah, but you see what happens when you put these
Mhm.
quarterbacks in the ideal situation, in a
Yeah.
better situation. That's how I know, okay, damn, Brian Daboll, you got to go. Because I'm seeing Daniel Jones do what he's doing in Indianapolis. He looks like a whole nother quarterback.
Yeah.
Jacksonville got rid of their coach, and Trevor Lawrence had the best game I've seen him play tonight
Mhm.
on Monday Night Football. And Mac Jones is 3-0 with the 49ers. He's balling. He's doing what a backup quarterback is supposed to do. Now, guess what's going to happen? Brock Purdy's going to come back. He's going to
Yeah.
get his job. He's going to play well. Guess what's going to happen with Mac Jones?
He's gonna go to Cincinnati.
No, he's not going to Cincinnati. Somebody next year is going to call San Francisco and see, can we get Mac Jones to come in and compete for our starting job?
Mm-hmm.
That's how it goes. That's the NFL.
Oh man, I've been putting this topic off because I was like, I don't want to go to this topic. I'm a little bit concerned. I was like, I don't want to go here, but we got to talk about it. All right, now we were messaging during this game up at the crack of dawn while watching
Yeah, we
football.
were.
Did the Browns find their starting QB in Dylan? He did what they asked him to do. You know,
He
like they simplified the game for him. He took care of the ball. You know, he was poised. You know, he didn't like he was phased by the moment. And that Minnesota, you know, that defense, you know, is especially for your first time, you know, kind of just thrust in there, playing, not in Cleveland and going overseas and things like that.
Mhm.
It could have been, like, well, this is too much. But I think he did a
Yeah.
very good job. Got to be fair. I think he did a good job of, of managing the game. And with that
Right.
being said, I'm like, if he keeps looking like this, doing what they're asking to do, I'm not sure if Shador is going to get the chance this season. That I'm really hoping that he gets, but I'm like, I don't know. What you think?
He's gonna have to win some football games. You
Mm-hmm.
can do all that they ask you to do. At the end of the day, if you're not winning football games, then we got to see what Shador looks like.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say Brian Flores is 11-1 against rookie quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it could have been disastrous for Dylan Gabriel, and he did show poise. He did play a really good game. He didn't turn the ball over. I think he took only one sack. He looked a lot better than Joe Flacco, and he gave Cleveland the opportunity to win the football game.
Yeah,
If Cleveland didn't have 1,000 penalties, then they would have won the football game. I think
yeah,
it's just those penalties killed them.
definitely.
The defense is still good in Cleveland. They're not gonna play Minnesota every week. If
Who
Dylan
they play next
Gabriel,
week? Do you know? I forgot.
I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I'll look that up. But I think if they can win 3 out of their next 4 games and Dylan Gabriel looks decent, now he's gonna turn the ball over at some point. He's still a rookie. He's gonna make mistakes.
Yeah.
But if they can win football games and he can pretty much keep them in the game, I think they might have found something. I think it's too early. I think it's too early to say this is our guy because it's not like he went in there and he just lit the Vikings up.
True.
They have a very tough game next week. You got to go into Pittsburgh.
Okay, that's what it is. Okay.
Mike Tomlin is going to dial it up. Now, again, Cleveland defense is very good, and you're going against a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers, who honestly, and I like the Steelers. That's the team I support. But Aaron Rodgers hasn't really. I mean, he just looks old to me. You can go in there and play good defense against that team, and if Dylan Gabriel can play the same way he played against the Vikings, they're gonna beat the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Minus the penalties.
Minus the penalties. That'll be a big win. And that Jenkins kid, he's running the hell out the football. So I think it's too early to determine whether or not the Browns have found their quarterback. But I think in the next 3 to 4 weeks, we're gonna have that answer. And it's gonna be solid. Like it's not gonna be any like indecisiveness about it. We're gonna say, yeah, he's the guy, or we're gonna say, it's time to see what Shador got, because I'm not sure about this guy.
I mean, I would hope that, because you had him there. I mean, you could have, kept Kenny Pickett, but you kept Shador. So I would hope at some point you would give a chance, even if it's like the last 2 weeks of the season, depending on what. I don't expect them to get to the playoffs, honestly, I don't. And if they don't get to the playoffs, I would hope, like you would give Shador at least, 2 games, like to see what he can do. Because like I said, overall, I don't think that Dylan is a better QB than Shador. I mean, I've said that for a while now, but we'll always, if he's a good chance to come into the game, like we'll always have that last impression of what we saw from him in the preseason. But that'll be like the last time we saw him in a Browns uniform anyway. So I do hope, since you kept him the whole season, I mean, if you're going to keep him, at least give him a shot at it, and see what he can do. Maybe he can light it up, and then maybe he won't, but at least you'll know, okay, like Dylan is the guy, Shador, move on, but I don't know. But I have to be fair, which kills me.
It's okay to be fair. It's okay to be objective. I like it. I like the objective culture.
I mean, I always try to be objective, even if I don't agree, but like I said, they made it very, very simple for him. They made it, the thing is, I wonder if in a sense, like they made it too simple, because I feel like they were like, just don't lose us the game. Don't cost us the game.
Right.
Like play it safe, very conservative, game plan. And I get it was his first time, so no one just do nothing crazy. His first time out the gate, especially as a rookie against that Minnesota Vikings, defense. But, I'm like, let him off the leash a little bit the next game, not all the leash, but just a little bit, so we can see what more he's capable of. Even for you as the coach in the franchise, like how much more he can handle,
And that's what I expect. I mean, the first game, I kind of expect them to really simplify it for him. Make it easy for him. Don't turn the ball over. Don't put us in harm's way. Our defense is good. Now, as we go forward, a little bit more on this plate here. A little bit more on his plate there. Now, let me tell you, the defense is good enough, and you got some veterans on that team. They want to make the playoffs this year. They want to win now.
Yeah.
So if he can reel some wins together, then they're going to have to stick with him. And I'm looking at the schedule. Like I said, they can beat the Steelers.
Who else they have? Steelers and who else?
To me, that's a winnable game. Now they got now 3 of the next 4 games are on the road.
Okay.
You got a home game against the Dolphins. That's a winnable game. The Dolphins look terrible. You got to go to New England, which could be tough because Mike Vrabel has New England Patriots playing really good football right now.
Oh, but please.
Well, they are playing good football right now.
My Bills, they were tired last night. They were like, "Go ahead, you can have this one."
But after the Patriots, you have 3 very winnable games because you got the Jets,
okay,
You got the Ravens, who we know their defense is terrible.
Lamar should be back by then, according to
Lamar
you.
should be back, but their defense is terrible. And you got the Raiders, who, I mean, Geno throwing 3 picks a game.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Pickett might be the starting quarterback by the time you get to the Raiders. So
And he might look like Indiana Jones out there. Who knows?
honestly, in these next 5 games, I feel like Cleveland can at least win 3, maybe 4 of these games. And if that's the case, they're going to be in the hunt for a playoff spot. And then you're going to have to stick with Dylan Gabriel.
I mean, well, yeah. I mean, if you get into the playoffs, you don't want to make any sudden changes like that. But yeah, I mean, for me, I'm going to ask you, why do you think once they decided, okay, like Joe is not going to be the guy, we've seen enough of him the past, 4 weeks. We're going to go with Dylan. Why do you think Shador didn't move up to back up?
Because that's not how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Flacco ideally is a backup quarterback. That's what he's shown to be good at over the past 2 or 3 years. Mm-hmm. I don't even think they wanted him to be the starter this year. I really think they wanted Kenny Pickett to be the starter and Flacco would be the backup. It just didn't work out that way.
Okay.
And one of the reasons it didn't work out that way is because they did want to keep Shador. They could have let Shador go and kept Kenny Pickett on the roster, and when Flacco fluked up, they could have put Pickett in. But they wanted to keep Shador. They wanted to see, because they're still looking for the quarterback of the future. Yeah. And they didn't just want to get rid of Shador and find out he's everything that he believes he is. So I applaud them for that.
We believe he is.
Yeah. I'm saying, but definitely him. I think when they pulled Flacco still knows the playbook. He's still a veteran. So if Dylan Gabriel was to get hurt in that game this past week, you want to come in with somebody who's already had reps. You don't want to throw Shador in that situation, because that'll be a bad situation. And it'll be unfair, because if you throw him in that situation and he plays bad, everybody's going to be like, all the people that's already going against him are going to say, see, we told you he couldn't play. And that wouldn't have been fair on him. So I think you keep him at the third right now. And now once you figure out what's going on with Dylan, you give Shador a week to prepare. You give him a week with the first team. You keep Flacco at the 2. Flacco is never going to get bumped up unless the quarterback gets hurt in the game. But if you decide to pull Dylan Gabriel, then the next week, we're going to prepare Shador to be number 1. And Dylan is going to go to number 3. And Flacco is going to be the backup.
In the perfect world, obviously, I hope that Shador gets a chance to show, what he can do. Even if they decide to stick with Dylan, ultimately, for the next few years, at least if Shador gets a chance to play, then perhaps maybe he will have earned himself, a spot on a different roster, for as a QB for next season. But this is a bad look, obviously, because coming off of Deshaun Watson, what's been going on the past few years, you had the Myles Garretts who just got paid, and, he was unhappy with the losing. He's getting older. He's trying to compete. He's trying to win. I get it. He's not the only one, obviously. But you started out with Joe Flacco, and you knew he wasn't the guy, because otherwise you would have kept him from before. So now you bench him, and then you put Dylan in, and then if Dylan's not working out, then you're going to go to Shador. I feel like it's going to be a bad look for Kevin Stefanski, obviously, because you brought Dylan in. So I feel like he's going to do everything humanly possible to make sure that Dylan looks like what he wants him to look like, or that he is the guy. And for that, I don't know if Shador will get the chance, and I hope that he deserves.
Well, I think that if Gabriel plays well, then it's not good for Shador. And I'm really concerned about Shador, because I think the only opportunity he's going to have to play is if Dylan Gabriel doesn't play well. My problem is, and I put part of the blame is on the media. The media keeps putting the microphone in the face of a third-string quarterback. And he's not necessarily handling it well. And with his popularity, no team wants this backup quarterback or the third-string quarterback to be a distraction to the team. And I'm afraid that other teams are weary about having Shador being a part of their roster, especially if they haven't seen him play on the level in real live games.
Yes,
where
what I'm
they
saying. Like,
say,
yeah, that's why
let's
I hope
just
that he's for the chance to at least play.
right, let's just bring him in. So I'm really concerned that man, I just wish him the best. It looks like a long shot right now, and it's not all the media fault. Some of it is on Shador, because I just think he just got a lot of bad advice coming from Colorado. I don't
Mhm.
know who gave him this bad advice. I don't know if it was his father. I don't know if it was people who was hanging around him. It
Mhm.
just he just got a lot of bad advice, and he's taking a lot of missteps,
Mhm.
and it's turning into a clown show. The only third string quarterbacks that the NFL ever they look at Jameis Winston doing clownish things.
Mhm.
Like when you go in there and you do that's clownish.
Okay.
It's funny, but it's clownish. You're a quarterback in the NFL. You have to be more professional than that. And I know that you were baited into it by the media, but as a quarterback, you can't be paying attention to what the media is talking about.
Mhm.
You got to be stay focused and get focused on being a
I mean,
quarterback
his
in the
mom also
league.
called Rex out, so I think he there's no. Yeah, he
Right.
definitely
Like
heard it.
Rex is doing what Rex always does. He's
Yeah,
pretty loud, and he's a good coach. Now, don't get me wrong, but he's in the media. He's loud.
he's
That's
very
what he
loud. Yeah.
always does. So I just think, man, I just really hope he gets the opportunity, even if it's not in Cleveland, it's somewhere. Somebody just need to take a chance on the guy because I really do believe that he's a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL.
So I didn't like, we spoke about this about Rex last week, and just thinking more about it, just into some deeper thought. When you say, sit, get in, get your butt in there, study, sit in the front. If I knows, the whole league knows. Like, what does the
Yeah,
whole league know? You're saying Shador is not studying. You're saying that when he's sitting in the back with a hoodie on and headphones, like what are you
right.
implying there? And then a few days later, you know, Kevin came out and said, "Oh, he's always very monotone. Like when he doesn't seem like he likes Shador. Like I don't know. This is the vibe I get from him. Honestly, that could just be him, but it doesn't seem like he cares for him. But he was like, Shador is doing everything that we've asked him to do, and I honestly wish that he would have said that sooner because Rex, you put that out there, and knowing what the narrative is about him to a certain degree. People don't really think he takes it seriously. Part of the narrative is that he's full of himself and things of that nature. So when you put it out there, if I know the whole league knows, what is it that the league knows that you know? Because that to me it could be damaging. Like I wish that if nothing else, like the Browns would have came out and said like Shador is doing what we asked him to do when that kind of comment was made, as opposed to sitting there on mute.
And that's the issue. I don't like that Rex Ryan said what he said because Rex Ryan didn't put a source behind that. If
Hmm.
somebody in Cleveland told you that this is what was going on, cite the source, or at least say
Yeah,
sources have told me that Shador is not doing X, Y, and Z.
yeah.
Cite your source. But again, this is what I don't like, and why I'm worried for him because now Stefanski has to go and answer
And talk
questions
about
about
it.
a third string quarterback. No head coach got time to be answering questions about a third string quarterback. I got other things that we're trying to work on so we can start winning football games. So that's a problem. Another thing I really don't like is the media is all over the place with Shador right now. I
Yeah.
mean, of course, he's a hot topic. He gets clicks. People want to know what's going on. But I
Hmm.
just wish they would finally come up with a narrative that we can all go along with.
Hmm.
Like, okay, Stefanski don't like him. They're sabotaging Shador. The
Hmm.
owner don't like him. Okay, who picked Shador? Because some media sources say, well, he wouldn't have got drafted, but Jimmy Haslam
Didn't
wanted
they say it
Shador.
was Andrew?
Okay, see, that's what I'm saying. So then Jimmy Haslam comes out. He said Shador wasn't my pick. This
Yeah.
was Andrew Berry pick.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go with that narrative. That means Andrew Berry wanted him. If
Hmm.
that's his pick. If the general manager wanted him, then that means they're not going to sabotage Shador because the general manager hired Kevin Stefanski. They're
Hmm.
tied at the hip. If they want Shador to play, if they want Shador to develop, then that's what they're going to do.
Hmm.
Nobody is trying to sabotage him and don't want him to do well, they wouldn't have him on the team. They could have had somebody else to fill that roster spot. They do want Shador.
I don't know if I don't. I'm not 100% sold. I think a lot of it, they're not afraid of having a media circus. If that was the case, then you wouldn't win with Deshaun. With everything that he had going on, off the field, with the women and all the allegations that came out, and that kept coming out and kept coming out because it
Right.
was like a long list of women at
Yeah,
one point.
yeah, it was bad.
And you still brought him in there. You were okay with it, even when he got hurt, you brought him back, so obviously you paid him 230 million
Yes.
guarantees, so you weren't gonna get rid of him right away. I get that, but my point is, you don't mind the media circus, so you're not want to shy away and just, I guess, I kind of want to just focus on football based on the choices that you've made. It doesn't seem like that to me.
Well, I think that's why Jimmy Haslam didn't want to tie his name to this quarterback situation.
Mm-hmm.
But Deshaun was a totally different situation because when the Browns got Deshaun was a top 3 quarterback in the league, 25
Yeah,
years old,
I was
hadn't
talking
even
about
reached
off
his
the court
prime.
stuff. Yeah.
So yeah, you gonna take any team would have took an opportunity on Deshaun. There were a few teams. The Falcons was looking at him. It just that Haslam blowed him out the water with the amount of money that he gave him. No other team was willing to do what Jimmy Haslam was willing to do. So he brought Deshaun in. It just didn't work out. But to bring a top 3 quarterback in his prime before he even reached his prime, it was almost like a no-brainer. Any team would have done that. I think Gabriel was the guy that they wanted in that situation. It wasn't, but I don't think Gabriel was a franchise guy that they would draft. No, else you would have took him in the first round.
Yeah.
They took him in the 3rd round as a guy who would compete. They took Shador in the 5th round, I think, as an emergency. If Gabriel doesn't work out, if the Flacco don't work out, Kenny Pickett don't work out, Gabriel don't work out, we're gonna play Shador, and we're gonna see if he can be a franchise guy.
I mean, you
We
knew
need to-
Flacco wasn't going to work out.
Well, you knew
Like,
Flacco wasn't gonna work
yeah,
out,
like
but
you knew
again, I think Flacco was there to be the backup.
Yeah,
I don't even
I can get that. Mhm.
right. I again, if Kenny Pickett hadn't got hurt, maybe you see Shador on the scout team,
Mhm.
and then somebody else would have came and picked him up off the scout team, and he'll be on somebody else's team. So they could have ran with Kenny Pickett, but I think they really was like, we know what Kenny Pickett is, we don't know what Shador is. If things don't work out, we need to at least find out what Shador is. So if Dylan Gabriel doesn't play well, like I just pointed out the schedule and told you, they have at least 3 winnable games, maybe 4 winnable games. Let them go 2-3 in these next 5 games. We're gonna see Shador play because that means Dylan Gabriel is not playing up to par because that defense is legit.
It is. So we gonna see that. We are going to see. What else happened? I'm trying to think before we get out of here. Anything else happened this week that I was like, wait,
Yeah.
what?
Mark Sanchez got stabbed by a 70-year-old.
I saw that. I didn't like read what actually happened. What happened? I know he got stabbed, but what happened? Why 70-year-old? Like, what's going on?
He was drunk. Out night on the town. He drunk, and the guy was delivering. He was in a delivery truck.
Okay.
And Mark Sanchez got into an argument with him about a parking spot. Went in the truck and attacked this man. This man's 70 years old, 69 years old to be exact.
Mm-hmm.
And he's beating up on this guy, punching him and everything, beating up on him. And the guy pulled out the pepper spray, sprayed him up, and then he pulled out the blade and go ahead and drilled him a few times. Get up on me. Mark Sanchez ended up getting rushed to the hospital, and then later they came and arrested him in the hospital. I saw today that they've upgraded his charges to felony battery. He's facing anything from 1 to 6 years in prison.
Well,
Like, this is what happens when the alcohol gets the best of you. Put the bottle down, Sanchez. Now you're known for 2 of the worst things in the history of celebrities: the butt fumble and being stabbed by a 70-year-old. Come on, bro. That's just embarrassing.
yeah, and dangerous too, because you could have got killed.
Yeah, the field got
Especially
killed.
nowadays, you gotta be careful, when you run up on folks. People, I think sometimes we assume somebody's older,
Right.
like like they don't have nothing to protect themselves, and you can get the upper hand. That's not always the case. So gotta really, really be careful out there. I saw that and I was like, wait, what? Like, how he gets that? I didn't want to bother to read it.
Yeah,
Um,
it's good you didn't bother reading it because the media tried to spin it so many ways
mhm,
before the truth finally came down. First, there was some African Americans. The African Americans in Indianapolis, they some thugs and they
mhm,
stabbing people. Then you had some reports that said, "Oh, the governor comes out and say, oh, this is political. This
mhm,
is what happens when you let this party in control. You got
mhm.
these kind of stuff. It was everything except for what happened." And so now the truth finally has come out, and we see that Mark Sanchez was just being belligerent, and he was drunk, and he lost control.
Something I saw that really bothered me, and it still bothers me now, like whenever I look at LSU, is what happened with Kyron Lacy. Um,
Yeah,
Obviously we know that, he's no longer with us. But to me, like they're just I don't know how it gets fixed or if it ever will be fixed, but before you accuse somebody of something, like you really got to make sure you're doing your due diligence. I mean, because he ended up, doing what he did, and he's no longer here. And then come to find out,
right,
you said he was the cause of the accident, but his car's back, so he couldn't have been. I'm
right.
just like, so who's gonna be thrown in jail because this is unacceptable. Like it really, really is for that to have been out there. That, like, how the media is, like, they see something
Hmm.
and they all harp on it and they keep telling the story and it just goes and goes and goes and goes and it becomes a lot. It's a lot. It was too much for him, and now
Right.
you find out months later after everything, I'm like, his life is gone, and like he should really be in the NFL right now.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And this is a thing that we all have to have. It's important that we have somebody to advocate for us when we can't advocate for ourselves. Because if he didn't have someone advocating for him, he has a great lawyer who I'm
Mhm.
glad that stuck behind him and did the detective work and found out the truth. When you don't have people advocating for you, they just go along with whatever is put
Mhm.
out there. And a lot of times, whatever is put out there is not the truth.
Yeah.
Because then nobody do want to take the time to do the homework or do the research that was necessary to find out the truth. So this is a very unfortunate situation. It should have never happened. And man, I just hope that there can be some sort of resolution so his family can heal,
I
from this
mean,
situation.
for me
But
as a mother, I'm not even sure, like, even if someone got thrown in jail, they would, put behind bars for the next 10 years or whatever. Like, I'm just as a mother, I'm not even sure, like, if that would even begin to I don't know, to help you heal,
it doesn't.
because of what happened and how it happened. Ultimately, you tell me that you accused him of this so much so and harassed him online that, he took him, he took him his own life. And then now you're telling me that you made a mistake and you just what, you are gonna apologize and what, I should take that and be okay with it?
It, and I'm not a mother. I'm a father, but I'm not a mother. And I could just imagine because I've known mothers who have lost their children in some sort of act of violence or in some
Well,
sort of accident. And man, it's hard. It's no matter if you find the person that is the culprit of the crime or that caused the accident, it doesn't make it any easier.
yeah,
Losing a child is probably the hardest thing to go through as a
yeah,
human being. So I just, I really do pray for his family and
hmm,
his mother and hope that they are able to heal at some point. It could take forever.
yeah,
There's no time limit on how long somebody has to grieve.
hmm.
It just I hope that they can find some sort of solace, some sort of peace, and move forward.
I know I know we're in a different time, but I just wish we had a little bit more compassion in this world and journalistic integrity. I know, like, we're in the world where everybody wants to get their clicks and their likes and their views, but you have responsibility, especially if you have a big platform. People are looking, and they're paying attention to what you're saying. and they're
Right.
reposting your video. Like, don't just put stuff out there and run with it because it's popular. Like, really do your due diligence and make sure that what you're reporting is the truth. Like, don't just because you can ruin somebody's life like that. It's like social media it could be great for your career or for your life, or it could really like be a detriment to your life and really, really hurtful. We just need to do better.
Yeah, we're living at a time where everybody's trying to get the story out first. And it doesn't matter if the story is accurate or not. I just need to get it out first so that I can get credit for the story and I
Hmm.
can get the clicks and the likes and maybe I can get some sort of branding and make some money off of it. But you're right. I mean, these people who want to be journalists, it's important that you get all the facts first and then report the story, or else don't report the story.
I was hoping that Stephen A would know with his platform that he would speak out about it. Especially because he can cover more political things now. With his new contract with ESPN, I was like, because his mouth is so big and his platform is huge, and who he is now, whether you like him or not, he's one of those ones when it comes to media. So I was hoping that he would really pick it up and like put more, a voice to it. We spend more time harassing Angel Reese for being an Instagram model as
Right.
opposed to a basketball player. And then when you have a story like this, like no one wants to talk about it really.
Stephen A is a big mouth for the bosses. Whatever his bosses tell him to talk about, that's what he talk about. I met Stephen A. I met him a couple times. He was at Sam Mitchell's wedding, and I was at Sam Mitchell's wedding. I actually was
Oh, cool.
filming. I was filming the wedding when he got
Hmm.
married. But I met Stephen A. prior to that
Hmm.
when I was interning at the radio station. And at this time, he had left ESPN and he had went to Fox. He was doing his
Hmm.
own show. And I asked him, why did you leave ESPN? And he told me,
Hmm.
he said, I left ESPN because when I'm at ESPN, you have to talk about what they want you to talk about. And I want to talk about things that I want to talk about. And Fox
Hmm.
giving me more of a platform to speak how I want to speak. And then I was like, oh, that's commendable. I
Hmm.
was like, that's pretty cool. He gave me some advice on my career and what I should do going forward and that type of thing. I really liked him at the time that I met him. And then a couple years later, I saw him back at ESPN.
Hmm.
He took a bigger salary to go back to ESPN, and then he went back to saying what they want him to say. And I kind of lost all respect for him at that moment. Now I
Hmm.
can't judge him because the man got to feed his family how he feed his family. But I also understand that Stephen A has to talk how the bosses want him to talk. He has to talk about what they want him to talk about, and he has to spin it the way they want him to spin it. So it's hard for me to listen to somebody who's sold their integrity to the
But then
powers that be.
what about the Stephen A. Smith show that comes on YouTube? I think it's Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, something like that. And then now he also
Right.
has his show on Sirius XM, where he also gets to cover a lot more of the things that he wants to cover. So
Right.
even if you can't do it on First Take, like you can cover it on one of these platforms, And it's not just him. I just use him as an example. I know Nightcap spoke about it, which was
Right.
cool. The Speak Easy did, but no, Emmanuel Acho and Shady, they spoke about it as well. But there should be more of a voice to it because things like that, like
Right.
to me, like the media I know media, like Dylan said, the entertainers, like I get it,
Yeah.
but you got to be careful, like, you got to be careful with your voice, what you're saying, what you're putting out there.
Correct. It's easier to speak about it once you're totally independent. Once you're totally out of the way of the big networks.
Hmm.
So yeah, Acho and Sham, they got fired. They're not with Fox no more. They're doing their own thing.
Yeah.
Shannon Sharp, he got fired. He's no longer with ESPN. He's really doing his own thing. Now you can be free to say a little bit more things than you would if you were still with the network, because even when you got your own platform and you still with the network, they're still watching you and what you say.
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to be out underneath that thumb in order to really have the voice that we want you to have. And so shout out to the sponsors that help them put their shows on.
Hmm.
I mean, hopefully you don't have to sell out to your sponsors. They allow you to be who you want to be and really get the truth out there. One day you're gonna have a big sponsor for your show, and hopefully when you get the big sponsor for your show, you can still be Katja, and you can still come with a new hairdo every different show.
That's important to me. My son, he's in this day and age with social media and whatnot. And he's like, you should go ahead and talk about Caitlyn and talk about this. I'm like, Papa, I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm not going to just rag on Caitlyn because she's the white girl and I'm black. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. Like, if I don't have anything bad to say, I'm not going to just say it for the sake of getting 10,000 like views. Like, that's just not me. But he's like, oh, you're missing out. You're gonna get more views that way. Like that's but I get what he's saying because people do it.
Right.
This whole
Yeah.
channel is devoted to just trashing Angel or trashing Caitlyn. But that's not what I'm about. So I'm like, I'm not gonna do that.
I feel you. I mean, there's enough stories to talk about, and even if Caitlyn and Angel are always going to be a story. They're always going to be a topic for a plethora of different reasons, whether they're winning, whether they're getting injured, whether they said something in the media. So there's always going to be an opportunity to speak your truth. And believe me, whatever your truth is about whatever subject, there's going to be other people talking about it as well. But your viewpoint is going to be yours.
Yeah.
You don't have to jump on everybody else's bandwagon and say the same thing that they want to say, approach it with the same angle. Approach it with your own unique angle, and I think that'll get you more looks and likes, because people they're tired of seeing the same thing all the time. If I heard it over here and I heard it over here, then
people say that, but some of these channels, like I follow, because I'm gonna always agree with Jason Whitlock. Like I think he gets on my last freaking nerve.
yeah, I can't stand it.
But one thing, he got his audience though,
Yes.
and they go. But if you go to the comments, sometimes I'm like, you actually believe like what he's saying? Like, are y'all serious? There's an audience for it, and he knows his audience very well.
That's my point. That's my point. There's an audience for everybody. You can just be yourself, and you're gonna have an audience for how you like to spill the information.
I just realized you didn't add your channel. I'm looking like, wait, you didn't.
I know, man. I was like, man, this is some bull, man. I'm supposed to hit that when it started.
I think I can put you as a collaborator though, and maybe I don't know if you can post it that way later. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll see. I'll try that.
I found a way to do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. This was a good one. I enjoyed the conversation, you guys. We are heading into another week in the NFL. Basketball is getting ready to come back. I'm excited. My Warriors made some moves. My Warriors finally made some moves. I'm excited.
They're not going nowhere.
They are going. They are going. They have stepped. They'll be fine. You just watch and see. When playoffs roll around, remember what I said right now before it even started. You like Kaja was right.
I'm just trying to tell you, basketball is my baby. Like I can tell you, but I will say this.
I love that, more than the NFL. But
okay, then the Warriors ain't gonna do that. Okay.
Yeah, they are. Who's your team? Do you have a team, like an actual team, or just certain players?
I root for certain players. Usually, I've been pulling for whoever Russell Westbrook.
You said Russell, yeah, you told me that.
But he ain't on no team right now, so I'm like, oh man, look like I might still ride with the Joker. But the Atlanta Hawks are looking, like a decent team, but I just don't ride with them like that.
Yeah, so Trey made me mad. I don't like how he came in pat.
I'm out. I'm a free agent right now in basketball. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I'm a free agent. But I do like the Joker. I think Denver has a really good team, and they're gonna have a chance to win it all this year because they deep. They deep.
Yeah.
But tomorrow, have you heard about this? Tomorrow at noon, LeBron is calling a press conference. He calls it the decision 2. And some people are speculating that LeBron is going to announce his retirement tomorrow. So, man, that's something that's big news. That's something that I'm going to stay tuned to. And
at 12 noon, you said, right?
At 12 noon, LeBron is supposed to have a big decision to make. I hope he doesn't retire. Maybe he retires now. Maybe sets his retirement for next year. Maybe he said this is my last year.
Season, yeah.
But I'm interested to see what this decision is.
If I had to guess, I'm gonna think like this would be like my last season. I can't see him retiring Like with the way it ended, I think he'll give himself like just a competitor in him. I think he'll give himself at least one more season. I think, but don't quote me.
Man, I think he got to get one more season.
Yeah, you gotta have
Bronny is done for. Bronny is
I'm
terrible.
done. I'm done. I'm done.
And
Look,
if he retires, then they gonna why I'm gonna keep Bronny if you retire, we gonna get rid of Bronny too then. Like if you want your son to stay on this roster and have an opportunity, then we need you to stay here and go ahead and get the little money that we getting you for this year. Retire next year, we'll have a chance to develop Bronny and maybe he has a better shot. But right now, that kid, he doesn't belong in the NBA court.
I honestly wonder, like, when LeBron does officially retire, like, what happens with Bronny's career?
It's over.
I really do.
I'm telling you what's happening. It's over.
I'm not gonna put
He
that
can't
out there
play.
for the young man.
He's not good.
I don't see like him being his dad. Obviously, I don't see him being like a Steph, but I think he can give you like some quality minutes off the bench.
No, he can't
You
give you no
know?
quality minutes on the bench. He's terrible.
Oh gosh. All right.
Have you seen him play this preseason?
I heard about it.
Oh yeah, it's awful.
I've heard about it.
He's actually regressed.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
He's worse than he was last year.
Well, sometimes you start off rough. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. I'm gonna put positive vibes out there. I'm gonna put some positive vibes out there for him in
I
the
knew
universe.
that was something I liked about you. When I'm
Sometimes
at my worst, I'm gonna hit you up, man. Give me some positive words of affirmation, please.
you got to, especially in this world, in this life, it can get dark sometimes, so you
Right.
really gotta try to find the positive in situations. One thing I will say is that his dad can use his connections and everything else to get him as much help training, that he
Yeah.
needs, so I do get at least nice role player right now, but ultimately in the end, like, who knows? We'll see. God has the final say for him and Shador.
That's correct. Shador is better than Bronny by far. I wouldn't even put that. That's an embarrassment to Shador to put him in the same breath as Bronny.
Hold on. Adam, what's up, Adam? Adam said, I don't care what anyone says. The Browns need to start Shador if they lose the next game or it's season over.
Well, I mean, if Adam says that, then Adam believes that if Shador comes in and play quarterback, that it can turn the Cleveland Browns whole season around and they can go on a winning streak and they can make the playoffs and he's going to be the franchise guy. So if you're under that mindset, then I won't disagree with you.
Oh, gosh. But you put all them stipulations on it.
I mean, I gave you the schedule. The schedule is a very winnable schedule if you can come in and play halfway decent as a quarterback with the defense that they have. So, yes. But going into Pittsburgh against that defense, against a rookie quarterback, that's a tough task that they have. I just think their defense is good enough to stifle Aaron Rodgers. And if Big Play Gabe, if he don't turn the ball over, if you don't turn the ball over, they're gonna be in the game. They're gonna have a shot to win.
Yeah, we shall see. We will see. But yeah. All right, you guys. That is it for week 5 recap. NFL recap. Yep.
You know what you need to have? You need to have some outro music.
I do. I thought about that, right? I don't have any outro music. I gotta come up with something. I mean, I could freestyle, but it's kind of late and I'm tired. So I'll save that for the next time.
Oh, you can freestyle, you rap.
I do many things. Woman of many talents.
That's
Okay.
interesting. I was a legend.
I just
freestyle.
You were?
Really like some real talk. When I was in college, like I would go to the party. Sometimes I wouldn't go because I already know they're gonna ask me to rap.
Okay.
I was that guy, and I'm not just saying this to say this because I don't make stuff up. I don't try to big up myself like that.
Okay.
But the people that were hear me rapping, my friends, they always say in the South, they say, man, you top 3 in the South is you, T.I., and Andre 3000, and then everybody else. So, yeah, that used to be my thing, freestyle rapping. I had a couple songs that I used to go to the studio and do that didn't ever come out.
Oh gosh. Okay. I got it. It's unreleased music, but it's there.
Right. And I got my guitar. My guitar is right over here in the corner. I
You play the
practice
guitar?
I practice the guitar.
Oh, okay. Correction. Okay. Oh man, you guys, this is an interesting one. You find out so
Right.
many things on these lives, you guys. You never know what's gonna come up. So make sure you tune in. If you're not subscribed to my channel here, Just Simply Sports with Kaja, please hit the subscribe button. If you're not subscribed to Nadi's channel at One Man Cave, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to his channel as well, you guys. We've been doing this a few Mondays now, so you guys should be aware of this by now.
Right.
All right. But yeah, mark my words, the Warriors are gonna be in there, right? You guys heard it today, is October 7th, 2025, 1:38 a.m. Timestamp it right now. My Warriors, they're gonna be in there, y'all. All right, they're gonna be in there.
Well,
And
you know
not
I
even
listen. You know I listen to you, and I'm gonna hold you accountable for your
that you
words.
should. I stand 10
Okay.
toes on it, 10
All
toes,
right.
and on my fingers too. If I could do a handstand, I would do that too.
All right.
All
I believe
right,
you can do a handstand.
I can't. I'll probably fall over trying to do that. So no. But if I had to really stand on business for my Warriors, that's what I would do because I believe in my guys.
Okay. Noted.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you all have a wonderful night, a wonderful week, and we shall see you next time. Peace up, A-Town down.
Yeah.
Good night.
All right.